Hi Zetta, how you doing today?
Hey, Yolanda, how are you?
I am good. First, I want to start off just by thanking you so much for making the time to have this conversation with me. I know that everybody is busy, especially as mamas, and so anytime someone decides to share a little bit of their time with me, I'm really, really grateful. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation. I feel like we get to know each other online, but then when we get a chance to have like human interaction, I always want to take advantage. So thank you so much for asking me to do this.
Yes, of course. Why don't you start by introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about you?
Okay. Well, my name is Zetta Cool. Yes, my last name is Cool, like the temperature. I go by Zetta B online. I am the heart and soul behind Millennial Momstar, a company, a brand, a movement on a mission to normalize self-care for mothers. I am the mama of a beautiful brown baby boy, Omari, who, upon giving birth to him, sparked this entire idea to go on a mission to normalize self-care. I am currently in my 17th year of teaching. I'm very proud of that. And I am just excited to get opportunities to share my mission, to extend invitations to join my Millennial Momstar tribe, and to share my experience and my knowledge. He's only 3, so I don't have, extensive knowledge in terms of experience, but I do know the power of self-care. I say many times, I'm not an expert in many things, but I know I'm an expert in my own experience, and that I plan to share as much as possible.
I love that. I was actually just getting ready to say, do not discount yourself by saying you've
Yeah,
only been a mama for 3 years because you have lived experience and wisdom, and that is more than enough.
that is very true. Very, very true.
Yes. So why don't you share with us what has been the best part about being a mama?
Mm. So I'm a boy mama
Go
through and
boy
through.
moms.
Oh yeah, whoop, whoop. But I feel like one, um, I almost feel like, and I come from a very loving family, but I don't feel like I've ever experienced this type of unconditional love. I know
Mm,
some people say, "Oh, that's cliche," but it is so true. There's been times where he doesn't want to be with anyone, talk to anyone, see anyone other than his mama, and I think that's just um, such a joy to experience. I've been asked this question before, and it's so hard to put in words the type of love that my son has for me.
mm,
I truly believe that I journeyed to the stars to get my son in labor and delivery. And I believe that children pick their parents.
mhm.
And as he grows older, I truly understand why he picked me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I believe that um, our souls uh, decide to be incarnated because they have a purpose and they choose the families that they want to be born into. And I thank my kids. I say, thank you for choosing me. And they don't quite understand it, but they'll get it eventually.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like you may not get it until you become a parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, do you remember the show Teen Moms? Did you ever see that show on MTV?
Yes.
Okay, so I
Mhm.
remember long, long time ago watching Teen Moms, and one of the moms said, you can't understand how much your parents love you until you have a child. And she was absolutely correct.
Yeah. 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 I've asked my mom, like, because I have a brother who has 7 children.
Mm,
And I said, what's the difference between watching your son become a parent and watching your daughter become a parent? That conversation was so amazing, even though I have a son, so I may not ever get to experience what it's like to know the journey of pregnancy, labor, delivery, and then to watch your baby girl go through it. So that conversation is quite amazing. Yeah.
we might have to dive into that because
Yeah.
I too have two boys and might not have that well, I will not because I'm done. Will not have that experience
Right. Right.
um, either. So I would be interested in hearing what she shared with you.
Mhm.
But on the other side of that, unconditional love and glass half full side of mamahood, what has been the most difficult or challenging or even surprising thing about being a mama?
Hmm. So early on, I went the traditional pediatrician route, and I'm very in tune with my body, and I never felt safe. I never felt seen. I went through like three different pediatricians, and I was like, this isn't gonna work. Never thought that that would be my experience. I thought, you get your pediatrician, they know best, and I had to follow my intuition. That was a very stressful experience, but once we found my son's doctor, oh my goodness, was I right? He's a pediatrician, but he's also a holistic doctor. Our appointments are never shorter than like an hour or two sometimes, and we go through temperament, we go through um navigating different behaviors, developmental things, also the normal um, primary care assessments and all those things. But to be able to feel like my son is seen and heard has been like a reoccurring trend that I didn't know I was going to have to like navigate such rocky waters. And I have had to fight for me following my
Mm,
intuition. And I'm so glad I did. But things like picking his pediatrician, all of his doctors, and school has been such a heavy decision for me to make because I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 17 years. I know what public school and Black boys, I know that combination very well, and it's not what I want for my child.
yeah.
Um, but it takes a certain financial status.
Mhm.
It takes a certain amount of time required, but I am so grateful that he's been able to be home with my mom, who's a retired teacher.
Yeah.
So they are very, very close. But I think the hardest thing about motherhood that I didn't expect was advocating for my son in
Mm,
areas that I thought all children had the right to. I wasn't oblivious to obviously how our babies are treated or seen, but I didn't realize it would be such an exhausting but so necessary fight to make sure my son isn't just another number or
mm,
another name on an insurance card.
mm,
And I'm very proud of the decisions that I've made in those areas, but I did not expect to have to advocate so hard
mm.
for
Yeah.
my son to just be seen.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps as you're talking because again, I feel like there's a part two of this conversation for you and I, because I'm just feeling, excuse me, I'm feeling so many parallels between what you're sharing and my experience with my oldest son. A little different, but definitely, that advocate, that being an advocate piece. I too was not prepared for that. And as someone who, I grew up in a household where kids were seen, not heard. And there was a lot of unlearning that I had to do in order to
Yeah.
even be able to begin to advocate for him. So yeah, that definitely sounds like we're gonna have to have another conversation.
I'm down. Let's do it. Yeah.
Um, so now kind of circling to you, and you as a person independent of your motherhood. How do you care for and love on yourself, and how do you do that regularly?
Hmm. Um, well, one, I love to travel. I always say I'm a fan of firsts. I don't get to travel as much as I used to because I feel like the cost of traveling has
Oh
gone
yeah.
bonkers right now. But um, I love to explore. I love to experience new things, and I can do that going on a walk on a new trail.
Mm,
um, I am a dancer through and through. I've danced my entire life. My degree is in dance. I taught dance for 13 years before I took on my new position. So I love movement. I love music. I love the combination of the two. And you can do that anywhere.
yeah. Mm,
Um, I also am a huge fan of um, human interaction and
mm,
community and conversation and um, being mentored and learning new things.
mm,
So
yeah.
I think a lot of people may not see that as self care, but for me, um, it's such a fulfilling thing to do. It's to me, it's the same feeling I get when I explore a new country, a new language, a new food. It's the same fulfillment I get when there's a topic or a subject matter that I'm interested in, and I can learn more about it from someone who's an expert in that field or someone who has um, a way of delivering the new information that's so intriguing. So yeah.
I love that. I love that because you're right. I don't think we consider learning as a tool for self care, but as I'm thinking about some of the things that I enjoy to do, it absolutely is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
it's experience based, right? If
Yep.
it's something you don't know, it feels like a new experience. And to me,
Yeah.
that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's something about like there's a container of safety in that too, right? Because sometimes the unknown can be a little scary for some people, but if you are having the opportunity to sort of explore the unknown in a way that feels safe to you, then there is that opportunity to grow and to learn in a way that just feels safe and feels good.
I mean, I also think moms have to make so many right decisions
Oh,
daily, second by second, moment by moment. So to be able to be the student, to be able to not have to make the decisions, but to learn new things, I think could also be a mental break in some ways, and also another way to pour into yourself.
yeah, and I love that perspective. Thank you for sharing that with us. So we could probably go another, couple of hours. Um,
I love it.
but the goal of this conversation for Mommy and Monday chats is really to kind of keep them brief
Mhm.
because we are busy mamas. And
Yeah.
so with that, is there any like parting words that you would like to leave mamas with? Um, any, affirmations and how can people keep in contact with you or just follow the work that you're doing?
Okay, so one, I get asked or I get told all the time, I don't have time for self-care. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I have a self-care roadmap for moms, and I usually start with a time audit. So a lot of moms say they don't have time, but it's a really cool experience to sit down and look at, well, first write down hour by hour, what did you do? What did you do? And you do that for a day, you could do it for a week, you do it for 3 days, just to see, okay, so if you don't have time, where is your time going?
Mhm.
Where can we adjust? And just that like reverse engineering mindset of my goal is to get more self-care. Where I am right now is I feel I don't have time. Doing that time audit could really be a phenomenal bridge. So I would recommend for all the moms early in their self-care journey, I would recommend doing a time audit to see where your time is really going. And it'll be mind blowing when you start to find pockets of time that you can choose or be intentional about investing into self care. I think it's also important to know that self care can be defined in so many different ways. And the most important thing is to also start with defining what self-care is for you right now, and to know that that can change, that will change, right? Um, the other thing, my one of my favorite quotes talks well speaks to um, everyone talks about, filling your cup, filling your cup, filling your cup. And this quote spoke to um, you fill your cup to the brim, and what's I'm messing the quote up already, but what's overflowing is where you serve from. A lot
Mhm.
of people think, oh, I have to have a full cup so that I can serve from what's in my cup. But what will truly make sure you operate in full capacity, operate through true love, is when you can serve from the overflow of what's in your cup. And I think people take that lightly. I think they don't realize, not people, but moms specifically, don't realize the most important person in your life is yourself.
Mhm.
No one can fill your cup up more, better, other than you. So when you take the time to fill your cup up, you're operating at a full tank of gas, and then you're serving from what's overflow, so you're never depleted. I
Mhm.
think that idea and concept kind of goes over a lot of moms' heads, or it sounds a little cliche, but I think it's important to make sure your cup is full first before you even attempt to serve. um, the last thing I would want mamas to hear, you are worthy. You are
Mhm.
deserving,
Mhm.
just because it's your birthright. You are here, so you are deserving of self care. You are worthy of self care. You are not worthy because of the roles you play in other people's lives, or because of the things you do for other people. You are still worthy, regardless of that. And the last thing I would say is join our tribe. I can be found at millennialmomstar.com. I'm on Instagram at Millennial Momstar. I provide resources. We host events. We just had our empowerment brunch, which was quite amazing to see mothers just take a me moment together and have dynamic conversation, delicious food. We're having another one in March. And if you want more information about that, again, we can be found on Instagram at Millennial Momstar. And if you want to check out our website, we're at millennialmomstar.com as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Zetta. I was smiling the whole time you were closing out because I'm thinking in my head, I did not pay her to say this. I swear I didn't. But it's like all the things that I preach as well. So thank you for reinforcing that, and for sort of for affirming me too as well, because you were pouring into my overflow.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again so
Thank
much
you.
for your time.
Thank you. And part two coming soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got more to talk about.
Love it. I love it. Well, enjoy and thank you again.
Of course.